Jai Shri Ram. Text completion. Flinch, drawback, pull back in fear or pain or surprise. Flinching means to pull back. So the opposite of flinching is stand firm. Flinch is synonymous with cringing, recoiling, shrinking in fear or pain or even surprise. Drawback, venakaddam, janku. Foment. Foment means రెచ్చగొట్టడం. To stoke, stoke, to rouse, provoke, incite, instigate. Stir up, stirup, stir up, to stir somebody up, which means to provoke, instigate, incite, foment, rouse, arouse, provoke. Blank 2. Pejorative, insulting, a pejorative term. Pejorative, like for example, heathen, pagan, gentile are terms found in the Bible which are pejoratives for non-Christians. And similarly in the Quran also you have kafir. Kafir is a pejorative for non-Muslims, an insulting term. Okay. Pejorative means insulting, derogatory, insulting. Manifestly means obviously, clearly visible. Bombastically, that means using big words, exaggerating, big words without any meaning, empty promises and all that. So man is violent, and therefore any theory of conflict resolution between nations that dash to account for this is dash flawed. Flawed means faulty. So man is violent. Man is fundamentally violent. So in any theory of conflict resolution, if this thing is not dashed to account, then that theory is dash flawed. Pause, please. Yes, your answer has to be fails. If you don't take this into account, if you don't take that into account, then the theory that fails to account for this is manifestly flawed. That is obviously flawed, because this is a fact. Man is violent. So you cannot talk about non-violence all the time. Yes, non-violence is possible when everything is all right and people are calm. But if somebody commits a crime and thinks he can get away, violence has to be the means of punishing that person. Anyway, next one. Impassive, without any feelings or without showing any feelings. Then imperil. Imperil means to expose to danger, risk, because peril means risk. Jeopardize is a synonym. Jeopardize, jeopardize. Peril, perilous journey, risky. Parlous, parlous, parlous journey, risky. So imperiled by, endangered by. Inured to corruption, inured to squalor. Inured means modubari podam. Inured means getting used to something bad to such an extent that it doesn't bother you anymore, when actually it should bother you. Inured is an extremely negative word. That means you have seen so much of it and you are not bothered anymore about it. We are inured to corruption, we are inured to squalor. Squalor. Squalor is extreme poverty or filth and garbage strewn all over the place. So that is being inured to. Okay? Indifferent and apathetic and callous and not concerned. Though actually it is a bad situation, you should actually fight and protest against it. So when you don't do it, it means that you are inured to it. Ironically, that means a paradox is there. The contrast. The foreign affairs policies of democracies are more likely to be met with protests than similar policies of totalitarian, means dictators, regimes rule, because a democracy is dash protest. Whereas in a totalitarian regime, no one is listening. Okay, democracy. Pause, please. So the answer is sensitive to. In a democracy is sensitive to protest. That means willing to listen. And that is why, because we are willing to listen, there will be a lot of protests. Whereas in a dictatorship, where like China is there, so many totalitarian Islamic states are there, where the government is extremely totalitarian, totally dictatorship, despotic, fascistic, extremely dictatorial. Protest is not tolerated. And since no one is listening anyway, there will be no protest there. So democracies ironically are sensitive, and therefore we see a lot of protests. Okay. Next, refurbish means to make new by making a few additions here and there. refurbishing the office. Wacky means weird, bizarre, crazy, kooky, kinky. Dilapidated is rundown condition. Pedestrian means unimaginative, dull, boring, prosaic, lacking imagination. Prohibitive prices means very high. Puissant means very powerful. Although the buildings and streets of the small beach town appear dash, the property values are quite dash. Pause, please. Pause. Yes, your answer is dilapidated and prohibitive. Jai Shri Ram.